Okay, I think it's okay. Now we can start. Okay, where are we now? Okay, you can see my screen, right? Everything is fine?
So
Yes.
is this Gita lecture 96 or 97?
Actually, the lecture is 96. The name of the PowerPoint I'm making it as 97. There's a complication, as you see. I have to do something about it. We'll have to do some corrections. I'm not sure how to do it. I haven't spent much time with it. It's just very stressful nowadays. I don't know why. I'm not able to manage time in India. Getting into new projects, unnecessary projects sometimes. Sometimes you get forced to meetings. It's quite a different, environment in India. So different from what I'm used to in the US. Okay.
That's okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now here, nature of karma and nature. 1 second. Yeah, nature of karma and jnana. The concepts are very important. See, why is it important? Because Shankaracharya's view on these two, that is karma and jnana, are quite involved. One has to clearly know how to separate it from the view of other acharyas. So that is why it is very difficult. One has to get a firm understanding of it. As we go further, we will get a better feel for it. Let me review what we have done before. So the thing is, let me change something here. Okay. In Shankaracharya's opinion, liberation results only from jnana. That we have already studied in this. The next 3 slides would be a review of what we have done already quickly. Okay. Moksha is not to be obtained after the fall of the body. One should attain moksha here itself while living. That is the view of Shankaracharya. So liberation can be attained right here when the jnana comes. That is, once a person gets jnana, the person could be liberated right here while the person is alive and breathing, talking, doing many things. So in the final view, Shankaracharya says, jnana only is the means to moksha, and there is no need or support of karma. One can attain realization here itself. Since everything else is false, there is all other things other than self is false. So one can attain without the need for karma. Karma is not necessary at all. This is a question which is a little difficult. Let me tell you why. We will go into details in the next few slides. So there are varnashrama dharmas prescribed in the Vedas that gives you all-round prosperity here while living, and also to reach heavenly deities and heavenly abodes. So that is all abhyudaya, prosperity, right? So instead of going and attaining heavenly deities like Indra, Varuna, Rudra, many other deities, right? If the same karma is performed as a devotional offering to the Lord, Ishvara. It helps to purify the mind and heart. And thereafter, karma itself becomes a means for liberation, which is an indirect cost, not a direct cost. Because karma only leads to purification of mind or Chitta Shuddhi. So, in a way, karma or karma yoga becomes accessory discipline to get Jnana yoga. Or what we can say, see, the thing is, in Sanskrit, the anga, angi, bhava, and all those things, the terms are used. Though we have to be very careful in using those terms, because if Shankaracharya has used it, maybe we can use it. So it's become quite, it becomes complicated. So what are we doing here in this class? What we're trying to do is we are just trying to get the concepts of Shankaracharya, the concepts behind Vedanta, or concepts of Vedanta as Shankaracharya says in his Bhashya. That's what we are trying to understand very clearly. Today in the class, we will focus on the concepts related to karma and jnana. So what is Gita's main purpose according to Shankaracharya? Pravritti Marga, which is karma-oriented. Nivritti Marga, which is Vairagya-oriented, that is giving up of desires. And attaining jnana, that is the Nivritti Dharma. And ultimate reality is Parabrahma, called Vasudeva, who exists everywhere. Here, Vasudeva does not mean as a particular deity or anything like that. Vasudeva means ever-existent, all-pervasive Brahman. Pravritti Dharma is path to prosperity. Nivritti Dharma means path of renunciation. These two are said in the Bhagavad Gita. That's what is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita according to Shankaracharya. Now, let us understand the nature of karma, karma yoga, and karma sannyasa. Here, karma means what? Karma means ritualistic action, not just casual action. In karma, you can get kamya karmas and other things like that, right? Well, they're included in karma. Karma is very generic, but here the focus is more on ritualistic action. Karma yoga is slightly different, and karma sannyasa is different. These three are three concepts said in the Shankarabhashya. We are going to understand the nature of these three aspects, three concepts: karma, karma yoga, and karma sannyasa. In the next few slides, Shankaracharya reiterates. Okay, here comes the problem statement, right? Shankaracharya keeps on repeating. What does he say? Moksha comes from being in one's own nature, that is, stay in your true nature and giving up of all karmas, because the true nature of Atman does not involve any karmas. So karma sannyasa are giving up, don't do anything. Giving up karmas is karma sannyasa. And no, giving up, let's not come to that. Giving up karmas is the path to moksha. This is one view Shankaracharya keeps on repeating. And I'm sure you've heard of it. But in the Gita, it repeatedly says, do action. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetuhu buhu mate sankostu akarmani. Don't stop working. Gita repeatedly says action. Karma is important. So there is a dilemma here. Most people don't understand how Shankaracharya deals with these two issues. On one hand, he keeps on saying that one has to give up all karmas. On the other hand, the Bhagavad Gita says karma is important. Yudhyasva, tasmad yudhyasva bharata, go fight. Oh Arjuna, go fight. So you see the problem here? Can anybody express what they think, if they have any doubts here? This is a good place to ask doubts, and there's also a good place to understand this question. The question is, Gita is karma-oriented. Shankaracharya says, finally give up karma.
Can I ask a question, Krishnaji?
Sure,
Rama here. Yeah, you said, Shankara says that give up karma, but all his life he was doing some karma. He went on from place to place, setting up pitams, and wasn't that karma? Part of his karma. He was doing karma all the time.
Yeah, this is karma. That is karma too. What we can do is we will talk about this eventually in the next few slides as to what he says about it, right? In the next few slides, that will become clear.
Sir, Ramanathan sir, one doubt is there.
Yeah.
Sir, karma sannyasi, if my knowledge is correct, even in the 4th chapter also it comes, no? What is karma sannyasi? Krishna will be telling to Arjuna, no, sir, in Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, what does he say? What are you referring to?
No, there also concept comes, no, sir. Sir, I'm not knowing, not able to recollect.
See, karma, this is where karma sannyasa comes in different chapters. Karma comes in different chapters. Jnana comes in different chapters. What we are trying to do here is, right now, we are trying to understand the concept of the entire Bhagavad Gita's view as according to Shankarabhashya. So we are only focusing on 3 things: karma, karma yoga, and karma sannyasa, and jnana. Four things. What are these according to Shankaracharya? That's what we are trying to say. But initially, I'm giving you a question. That means why people get confused regarding Shankarabhashya is many people think that I should not do any karma at all, because finally Shankaracharya says, if I understand Atman, which is nishkriya or without any actions, why would I get involved in any actions? So people think that this is what Shankaracharya has said. On the other hand, the Bhagavad Gita keeps on advocating action to Arjuna. What is this issue? There is a problem here.
Krishnaji, is it that you should just do things without owning up to it, without thinking that you are the one who's doing it? Is that what he's saying?
So the thing is, that is what we are going to find out. What we are going to find out is in the next 6 or 7 slides, we'll find out what did Shankaracharya mean in his Bhashya on Gita. And we will not find out here how is it different from Ramanuja Bhashya or Madhva Bhashya. That is going to happen a little bit later, because we need to start, as a class, as an entire class, like in a group of people, we need to understand some fundamental concepts of Shankarabhashya very clearly. Why am I saying this is, I'm actually slowing down a little bit. I thought I would just go another, in 3 or 4 classes, just summarize the Shankarabhashya and boom, we already know what Shankarabhashya is. I didn't want to take that approach. I want to take in the next 1 or 2 classes purely conceptually what Shankarabhashya means, conceptually. Once you understand this clearly, we are going to go through a series of 2 or 3 lectures which summarizes Shankarabhashya on the first 6 chapters, the second 6 chapters, and the third 6 chapters in maybe 3 or 4 or 5 classes. So then only you clearly know what Shankarabhashya is. See, it is very easy to misunderstand Shankarabhashya because many people who have taught Advaita all over the world have taken extreme views on it. The most important thing you have to understand is, if you find an Advaita teacher somewhere close by, okay, somewhere in Canada, somewhere in US, somewhere somebody is visiting, you go to a big gathering, some big Acharya is giving a lecture on Advaita or whatever, most of the time you will find a lot of Advaita scholars, right? You have to figure out whether Shankaracharya agrees with this lecturer or not. Don't you think that's important? Is it important? I want to know from your point of view. Is it important?
கட்டாயம் அது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஏன்னா நாளடைவுல எல்லாரும் மாத்தி 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 அவளுக்கு தோணினதெல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கா இல்லையா?
ஆமா.
அதனால அது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்.
ஏன்னா இப்போ வந்து all I have to do is to come out with my own theory is wear this one, what you call saffron robe. See, now there are 3,000 sannyasis in one particular system. There are 3,500 sannyasis in another particular system. It is not like the old times where there was only like one Ramanuja, one Shankaracharya, one Ramanujacharya, one Madhvacharya, a few acharyas here and there. Maybe 74 Simhasanadhipatis after Ramanujacharya, who are not sannyasis, by the way. Not all the 74 Simhasanadhipatis were sannyasis after Ramanujacharya. Only in I don't know how complicated that Shankaracharya lineage is. There will be 10 types of different acharyas. Tirtha will be some name, Ananda will be some name, and something else will be what do you call? The Shankaracharya has got different types of sannyas and different types of family of sannyasis. So if anybody comes out, and nowadays, the textbooks are no longer the same textbooks you and I are following. Many people are following Yoga Vasishta. Some people are following Rama Gita, some other Gita, right? Or Ashtavakra Gita. Uddhava Gita is another thing which is a little complicated. Uddhava Gita is somewhat similar to Bhagavad Gita. Same about 700 verses are there in the Bhagavata. And there, some verses are very difficult to understand. So people are coming from different angles. You have to figure out that whether Shankaracharya said this or not. That you have to clearly understand. You at least can classify any acharya who comes and says, he is a combination of these two acharyas. He is this, he is this. Clearly say, understand, this is what they are trying to tell you. This is important for you, people who come in future, anywhere, because we are trying to understand right from Shankaracharya's words what exactly his view is. Yes, it is important according to me. You figure it out eventually why it is important. Now we'll go further. One second. Okay. Okay. Karma sannyasa does not mean giving up actions due to fear of physical strain. Shankaracharya's Bhashya we are trying to understand. If I say, oh my God, anyway, it is difficult to do yajnas, yagas, I have to get up early in the morning, I have to find all this, Ritvik, Hotara, Ritvik, and all these other people. I need to have the right things. Giving up actions is easy. Why? It's otherwise very physical strain is not worth for me. This is usually the reason why people give up actions, karmas, right? Not everybody is giving up karmas because they're all knowledgeable. Secretly, even just because somebody wears a sannyasa clothes or whatever, saffron robes, that doesn't mean that that person has won over kama, krodha, lobha, mada, matsarya, all. Right? It doesn't mean. Otherwise, I would wear those, saffron clothes and go around. Sincerely, if they look into themselves, they will find out where they are. Truth is within, hidden within. I'm not trying to make fun or pass any bad judgment on any person. I am saying that as a principle, so many people. You have seen in the movies, right? In the movies, somebody comes in the guise of a saffron robe person and fools the entire city and walks away with all the money and goes away. This is all in the movies. But these movies need not be completely imaginary. They could be real too. Who knows? If you find my lectures very offensive, let me know.
I don't think so.
So, just by giving up actions, because of fear of physical strain, I want to have fun and happy. I want to be happy. I don't want to be constrained by the rules and regulations given in the Vedas. That's not a good reason. Dukkhamityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet akritva rajasan tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. This is the 18.8, 18 chapter 8 shloka. Krishna says here, originally, this is the original shloka of Bhagavad Gita. If it just because it is so hard and because of the strain on the body, if you give up the karmas, that is actually Rajasika Tyaga. The question in the chapter is, what is the nature of Tyaga? What is Sanyasa? What is Tyaga? That is the question asked by Arjuna in the 18th chapter. The term Tyaga is defined by Krishna himself, saying that, look, this is not the right type of Tyaga. This is a Rajasic Tyaga. Just by, I don't want to do so much work. That's it. So Shankaracharya in his commentary says, Jnana Purvakasya Sarva Karma Tyagasya Phalam Mokshakyam na labhet. If the moksha is actually giving up actions which are completely in tune with the jnana attained, that person should have realization. And then he gives up karmas. After full realization, giving up all karmas like sarva karma tyaga, that will lead to moksha. But this kind of fear of bodily injury or a bodily difficulty in doing so much of actions, so much of yajnas and stuff like that, if you give up, that's it. That person does not get the benefit of such a giving up of prescribed karmas. So Shankaracharya does not want to go to two extremes. One extreme is the Samkhya Darshana view. Please understand, in the Bhagavad Gita, the term Samkhya is used in a different way. In the Samkhya Darshana, that means a separate system of thought, just like Nyaya Darshana, or Sankhya Darshana, or Vaisheshika Darshana, or Bauddha Darshana. These are all darshanas. These are specific viewpoints held by different set of people. Some people say Shad Darshana, right? But 6 darshanas are there. Shad Darshana Sangraha, they say, right? So, one second. So, the Darshana, Sankhya Darshana says, all karmas, including what they call in the Vedas are yajna, dana, tapas, everything have to be given up as they have defects. This is the view of Sankhya Darshana. Sankhya Darshana was put forth by Ishvara Krishna, and he wrote a book called Samkhya Karika. And it's a wonderful book to understand the Samkhya view, where they do not, the Ishvara Krishna has a version of Samkhya which is Nirishvara Samkhya. That means they do not accept God or Ishvara at all. They only accept individual Purushas, individual beings, and matter. So Prakriti, Purusha, the only two categories they accept. What they say is, regarding karmas, they say yajna tapas have to be given up anyway. It doesn't matter. All yajna tapas karma have to be given up. It's a very different view. Shankaracharya does not accept that view. Oh, this is becoming complicated. Why is it? Because just now in the previous slide, we said giving up all karmas are necessary for through jnana. Once a person attains self-knowledge, pure knowledge of self, which is nishkriya, which does not have any action, then he gives up all karmas. That should include yajna, dana, tapa karma also. What are we talking about here? In a way, we thought initially that Shankaracharya supported this classical Samkhya view. But now we say Shankaracharya does not accept this classical Sankhya view. Try to understand this further, then you will know. All karmas which are yajna, dana, tapa should not be given up according to Shankaracharya. Now, let us take the next point of view. Shankaracharya does not accept the Mimamsaka Darshana view. What is Mimamsaka Darshana? Mimamsa Darshana. Mimamsakas think, Karmaiva Mimamsakaha. You need to remember this verse. Karmaiva Mimamsakaha. That means only through action, only through karmas, only through yajna, dana, tapa, karma, one can attain moksha. You don't need any jnana. Or jnana, if it comes, jnana is not even talked about. You have the yajna, dana, tapas are said in the Shastras, in the Vedas. You firmly believe in the Shastras and start doing it. Moksha is only possible by performing karma. That's what they say. Then Shankaracharya says yajna, dana, karmas, if they are done without kama or desire of any goal, it is done in a nishkama way, that too as a devotional service to the Ishvara. They cause Chitta Shuddhi, that is purification of mind. And indirectly, such an action of purification of mind, such purification of mind which comes out of yajna, dana, tapaha, will lead to jnana, because only when mind is pure, jnana can come to you. So it is an accessory condition, preparatory condition, preparatory effort, which is yajna, dana, tapa, karma. That do done without any desire, but offering everything to Ishvara. So this is what Shankaracharya takes, saying that karma, giving up karma is, first of all, you should not give up karma just because you are afraid of bodily wear and tear and tire and everything like that. And if karmas are done in a particular way, that causes purity of mind, and that causes eventually you can get jnana. Yes, jnana is the way for moksha. That's accepted, right? Is this clear? Is this text, this slide clear?
Yes, Swami.
Okay. Now we go. Yajna, dana, tapa, karma is good. Etanyapitu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha kartavyani iti me partha nishchitam matam uttamam. This is Krishna talking in the 18th chapter, 6th shloka. These karmas, that is yajna, dana, tapa, karma, sangam tyaktva phalani cha, do not have any association. Don't think that it's for you and all those things, nothing. Give up all the fruits of those actions, and they have to be done because this is the dictate of the Vedas. Etanyatyavyaniti me partha nishchitam matam uttamam. This is my decided view. That's what Krishna says. So Shankaracharya accepts it, saying that Jnana Nishtha, I'm sorry, saying, so we just summarized what we just said a shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, that is 18.6, which supports the idea of yajna, dana, tapa, karma should be done without any fruit in mind, and as a dedication to Ishvara. That's what we proved using a shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Now, a second point comes up in the Shankarabhashya. There are two paths. Jnana Nishtha is a separate path. Karma Nishtha is a separate path. These two paths are for two different kinds of people. They're not for the same person. If a person is fit for Jnana Nishtha, he follows Jnana Nishtha. A person who is fit for Karma Nishtha, he follows Karma Nishtha. You cannot mix this, because it depends on the capability of the person. So what is the capability of the person which decides which way this person should take? Which path? Path of Karma Nishtha or path of Jnana Nishtha? So it depends on the Buddhi of the person. Some people are of the Sankhya Buddhi, who have the discriminatory power of mind, and some people have Yoga Buddhi, which is separate. These two Buddhis are the nature of their ideology are different. What is Sankhya Buddhi? What is Yoga Buddhi? We have to go further. and figure out. Yoga Buddhi means this: firm conviction of mind to do karma yoga as devotional offering to Ishvara. Belief that, yes, I have no other way. For me, doing all karmas as an offering to Ishvara is very important, is the right way to go. And I will continue with that and continue with the dhyana yoga or meditation at the end. Because once my mind becomes very pure, I can meditate. So this is what Yoga Buddhi is. Initially, you start with Karma Yoga, that is Nishkama Karma, and Ishvara Buddhi, that is dedication to Ishvara. Then it continues with Dhyana Yoga. This is the way, this is the nature of the mind of the person. That is Yoga Buddhi. Now, Sankhya Buddhi means who have discriminative knowledge of the nature of self, and that is ultimate reality. Clearly, that person knows that this is what is absolute truth, and rest are all relative truths. These people have nothing to do, they have no goal to achieve through karma, because they know that karma cannot give them what they're looking for. What are they looking for? True nature of the self. And that is beyond all actions. They can be Jnana Nishtha only. Then they have already, they have the path cut out for them. They're rooted in Jnana, that means they dwell in their true nature of self. For them, no need for any actions. So how will one get firm conviction about Samkhya Buddhi that Atma is eternal, Atma is Nishkriya, Atma is Shanta, Atma is Shuddha or pure, Atma is peace, Atma is bliss, and there's only one Atman, and rest are not there. This kind of a feeling, this kind of a firm conviction, don't just focus a lot on one slide and one, yes, yes, yes. Next moment in the morning, you say, oh my God, somebody is coming to my home, I have to prepare, I have to do this, I have to do that. If you say that, you have not got the firm conviction. Many people, by just reading all these things, they think that they have firm conviction. That, oh, I know for sure, Atman is this. Atman is pure and nothing else. Atman is actionless. They think like that because they focus on what they're studying. Just because they went through a complete understanding of Bhagavad Gita, Shankarabhashya, yes, got it. But in the next moment, if somebody says, look, those guys, while you are reading Bhagavad Gita, this guy did a small computer science course, and they worked on a small idea of some payment technology. Do you know who that person is today? He is the CEO of Paytm, and Paytm is worth $38 billion. Oh my God, why was I wasting my time doing Bhagavad Gita? I should have done something else. If somebody gets that idea, he is not ready for Jnana Nishtha. So don't devalue, don't underestimate the firmness of a Jnana Nishtha, that who clearly knows that this is Atman, Atman is Nishkriya. Such a person who is so mature need not have to do any work. He will not do any work because he knows that he is completely filled with the idea of Brahman. How do you become so firm? That's the question. Till now, everything seems good. You are understanding. Am I going in the right pace? Too slow? Too fundamental? Or at the right pace?
It's fine.
Okay. Now, some people may think that I can renounce all karmas because I'm qualified to become a Jnana Nishtha. They can think, but they may have here and there doubts. Suddenly something happens. some death happens, something else happens, something what they expected did not happen. Somebody promised that they would build a matha for this person, and nobody did anything, and he got upset. If they don't have the real firm conviction that Atman is pure Nishkriya, it does not depend on anything in life. It is constant. If that firm conviction is not there, what happens? That person has to switch back to Karma Yoga. They have to continue with Karma Yoga and purify their mind till it becomes established that yes, there's only one Atman, there's nothing else. So then Karma Yoga will lead to Jnana Yoga because Karma Yoga prepares you for it. But Karma Yoga directly does not give you moksha. This is what is Shankaracharya's view. So a pure Jnana Nishtha, who is very clear, he would have given up all the karmas anyway. And that would be a direct path to moksha. And Karma Yoga is only purificatory and accessory and preparatory to attain that Jnana Nishtha. This is clear, right? We have done this many times. I am repeating it so that people clearly know it. Maybe there's a little bit of extra repetition. What is the time? 1 second. Tell me if there's any questions here. Any questions on this till now? Because when we go further, we will have to come to a very clear definition of what is karma, karma yoga, karma sannyasa, jnana nishtha in the Bhagavad Gita. We have not talked very deeply about jnana nishtha yet, right? What exactly is jnana nishtha according to Shankaracharya? We have not talked yet. We have mainly focused on more about karma, karma sannyasa, and karma yoga. So when can a person do karma sannyasa, give up all the karmas? When? According to Shankaracharya, when can a person give up all the karmas? Let's take some feedback from you so that, did I make sense? Did you understand? Anyone?
When he has a firm belief in Atman and he's close to Jnana.
Yeah. And when you say that firm, the firm should be absolutely firm, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's good. So who should do Karma Yoga?
All others, for example, myself that way.
Oh, sir.
What kind of person can do Karma Yoga? Should do Karma Yoga?
Other than Jnana Nishtha.
That means they don't have
Those
firm
who
knowledge
give
of
up,
Atman.
those
Tell
who
me.
give up phala.
Is there, no, sir? Who can do Jnana Nishtha and who can do Karma Nishtha? It is according to one's capacity.
So what is the capacity?
Means if he is firm conviction that he can do Jnana, he can approach Jnana spite. If he is having a firm conviction.
No. When you say approach Jnana, not like that. You have to say firm conviction of knowledge of Atman.
Yes.
That means
That Atman is Nishkriya.
Yes.
the aspirants, those who have a yoga buddhi.
Yoga buddhi is karma, they can do Karma Yoga, right?
Yes, yes.
That means that they don't have a clear understanding that the Atman is one and it is Nishkriya. That is, no action is there in that Atman. That is a very difficult thing to get to because there are so many deities, so many temples, so many festivals, so many things around us. And all these things are more, if this person says, okay, this particular festival, I have to do this. I have to do some particular vrata for this, for that. If that person has that will become karma nishtha. And if that person should lose one thing, which is interest in getting some fruits, oh, let me do this vrata. If I do this vrata, I will have a long life. If I do this vrata, my children will be very, very wealthy. This kind of thing, if they have, they are low. Are they karma yogis? Suppose somebody says, look, I'm very interested in God, I like God and all, but I want to make sure my children are okay. And if they do some actions or vratas and some worship, a 48-day mandala vrata, or that vrata, this vrata, are they karma yogis? Question for you.
They are just karmis, not karma yogis.
Yeah, they are only karmis, but they are not karma yogis. If any person is a karma yogi, that person cannot ask for any fruits, no benefits. Why do they do it? It is said in the Vedas. The Vedas are the dictate of the Ishvara. We will follow it, and they follow with absolute conviction, without any questions.
Does it mean that once you realize your Atman, that you automatically become a karma yogi?
Depends on what is the level of realization of Atman.
Okay.
The karma yogi has to have some knowledge of Atman for sure, yes. But only to the level that right now he is unable to understand the true nature of Atman. If he understands the true nature of Atman according to Shankaracharya, everything is according to Shankaracharya here, right? We need to focus clearly. So this is about Shankarabhashya of Gita. For Shankarabhashya of Gita, the clear thing is a perfect understanding of Atman means the person cannot do any work whatsoever. Any kind of work that person cannot do. That means what? Then question comes, what happens to those sannyasis who have given up all the Vaidika karmas? Who are they? See, this is a very important thing. What is Vividisha sannyasa? What is Vidvat sannyasa? These are all something to be understood, and we will talk about it in the next class. So it is not done yet. But we are coming with some broad classifications, broad concepts here to understand karma, karma yoga, and karma sannyasa. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Yeah, that means if you purpose complete understanding of the Atman, the person then realizes the world is but nothing but a Maya. He comes to that level, isn't it?
And he will not work.
And he will not
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's completely realized, and then he cannot work. And then comes, what in the last janma, if he has prarabdha karma, till the body is there, he will work. But it's like an automated thing, work. That means like Brahman is working through him. That is, Ishvara is working through him. He is not working. Something like that. It's the Jivanmukta dasha, Jivanmukti, right? He is released but still living. That state is a little difficult to understand. If we can go through Puranas, we will see somebody was a Jivanmukta. How was this guy who was a Jivanmukta? What is the nature? So there are ways to explain that, but we will take that up in the next class. So we are still working on the concepts of Shankarabhashya. We will come to, once we are done with the concepts, in the next class we will figure out what are the cooperative means, sahakari karanas for purification. Sahakari is that which cooperates. The right mood, the right environment, the right type of stuff you do, they're all sahakari karanas. So we'll come to that according to Shankarabhashya. So only through Shankarabhashya we will view the entire Gita as a conceptual understanding. Once we do this, we can go to the next phase, that is, what is the summary of Shankarabhashya on chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 18. Each chapter will summarize Shankaracharya's views. Once you are done through the whole thing, in about 5-10 classes, you should be able to clearly understand this is Shankarabhashya. Let me tell you why I'm doing this. Next time, when we go back, when everything, all this series is done, we will go back to 4th chapter. and we'll go 4th chapter, 5th chapter. We'll again go on and try to understand each of these 3 bhashyas in depth, every shloka. When we go to that phase, all these fundamental concepts should be clear in your mind. That's why I want you to, in the next 5-6 classes, totally, since on the, whatever, 78 or whatever class we started this summarizing Bhagavad Gita bhashyas, right? So in about 15-20 classes or maybe, I thought it would be done in probably just like 10 classes or something. We are going to take it maybe another 10 classes, doesn't matter how many. But those will be your whole idea of a conceptual summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita according to 3 acharyas. That you can constantly refer to them. So the summary is right here, and the details will be taken later. Sounds good?
This is Prashant here.
Okay.
Just one query. Whether Shankaracharya deals Shankaracharya means more for the Uttamadhikarins or for both, like the people who are not yet close to Jnana and the people who are very close to Jnana.
Shankaracharya deals with everybody. See, the problem is Shankarabhashya is not understood properly by people. You go and listen to different people, you will understand why they're always tilting towards one side of Shankarabhashya and thinking that is Shankarabhashya. They're not really understanding the whole thing properly.
Because most of the lectures of the best of the Advaitins as of now, what I felt is they concentrate more on the Uttamadhikarins. That's
correct. And they have this innate feeling of assumed feeling that I'm already a Uttamadhikari. They may be, maybe I'm not. They may be Uttamadhikaris. I won't know. But that is the thing.
It's not possible for most people.
See, one thing I tell you, you can find a person is Uttamadhikari or not. Because if that person loses cool, if something wrong happens, if somebody shouts at him, somebody disagrees with him, him or her, right? If the person reacts very differently, what you would not expect, then you would know that is not real.
And I just had a discussion before this class with one of my relatives, and what we discuss is a person who says that he knows maybe he is not very close to being an Uttamadhikarin, and a person like who has understood everything and still feels that he doesn't know much. Maybe he is close to becoming an Uttamadhikarin.
This is what the Kena Upanishad says, right? Yasyamatam, yasyamatam tasyamatam, yasyamatam tasyamatam, matam. Oh my God, I'm forgetting yasyamatam. Matam yasya navedasaha. Once he says, a person who says that this is exactly how Brahman is, he doesn't know. If he thinks that I don't have an exact idea of Brahman could be this, could be that, could be that, he knows, because Brahman cannot be put in a box. So we will come to that. We'll come to that slowly. But right now, you know the structure of my talk right now. Structure is the whole 20 or something, which we are now working on, 20 classes. That will summarize the entire Bhagavad Gita conceptually according to the acharyas. Okay?
It was very insightful. Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaste. Namaste. Asman Gurupyo Namaha, Asman Parma Gurupyo Namaha, Asman Sarva Gurupyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahma Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Parabrahma Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Avadana Parabrahma Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Namaskar. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you have any doubts, you can send an email or put something into the Bhagavad Gita lectures Telegram channel.